What's good, YouTube? Coming to you with that Saturday video. Today we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. We gave you the Mavericks, we gave you all of Texas, and we gave you some predictions for the conferences. And now it's time to talk about a team that's been buzzing since the draft. They drafted Lonzo Ball. They went into Summer League and he won Summer League MVP. Magic Johnson and Palenka came to the Lakers. There's so much excitement around LA. Last year, I told you guys, this team ain't that far off from being a playoff team. You had to win, I think, 43 games to make the playoffs, which was the Memphis Grizzlies. This team, under Luke Walton, they could win a lot of games, especially if they can up the tempo, get easy baskets, because you know they're going to be a terrible defensive team because they don't really have that many defenders. Brook Lopez not a defender. Brandon Ingram not a defender at this point. Lonzo Ball is a terrible defender. And even a two-guard, Caldwell Pope, he's a solid defender, but he's not a great defender. Learning defense is going to be the biggest Achilles heels of this team because they're going to have to learn how to play together. They're going to have to learn how to communicate. They're going to have to learn how to suck up the losses and continue to keep their head up and fight through adversity to win. They have a big fan base. Every damn Laker video I do, damn near do 1,000. Everybody care about the Lakers, even when they terrible the last couple years, and people still talking about the Lakers like they won the championship. So they have pressure. Lonzo Ball lived up to the pressure in Summer League, but now he's going to have to do it against the best night in and night out because you don't have a day off really at the point guard position. Yes, he can shoot. Yes, he's poised. Yes, he is a guy that you don't really see take things too serious, which could be good because it's a good way to break down how you feel without being too serious, without being too preachy like Chris Paul. They complain about it, but he shows that he wants to win. And he's a player that can impact the game right away. He's unselfish. He picks his spots when to score. He knows when to get out on the fast break. He knows when to pass. He knows when to finish. And he's a guy that picks his spots. And I like that in his game. And that's how you be a high-efficiency player. And you want your point guard to be efficient. You want him to be, well, today in the age you have the scoring point guards, but as a pass-first point guard, we want everybody touching the ball constantly moving, and when he needs to score and when he is open or when he got a good shot, that helps the team because you're taking an efficient shot, and that's what you have in Lonzo Ball. Brandon Ingram, we didn't really see him that much because he got injured so quick in Summer League, but he's a guy that's only 20 years old. He has the athletic ability, he has the size, he has the length, he has the body, and if he can put it all together, you're looking at another all-star caliber player in the future. We've seen what he can do in one game. He dominated a couple games in Summer League last year, but now it's time for him to take another step forward and help this team become a contender. And if he can't do it this year, they still have him under rookie contract probably for 4 years. So they have a lot of trial and error. Is Brandon Ingram going to be that guy, or he's going to be a D'Angelo Russell where we drafted him, had high hopes, and then he turned out to be a guy that we really didn't want to keep around long term. So I think everybody's high on Brandon Ingram, especially going into this season. And I think he will live up to the hype because he did it good in high school. He was a late bloomer. He did good enough to be the #1 pick in college. And now he had an off and on, then he started and he didn't start. Now he has a consistent minutes. He's going to have consistent playing time, and he's going to have the same people around him most likely, so he can get the chemistry, and that should help the slide to being an all-star potential player. That can help him go up a little bit more with consistency with the coach and the team he's around. And if they continue to grow together, that can become something dynamic and crazy, especially with Lonzo Ball being a pass-first point guard. He can come off some screens. He can hit a couple threes. He can get out in transition, get a couple layups, get a couple dunks, get a couple free throws. And next thing you know, Brandon Ingram averaging 15, 16, 17 points a game in his second year just by scoring and taking smart shots and picking your spots when to score. Of course, he's going to get some isolations every once in a while. Of course, he's going to knock down some late shot clock shots, and that's going to up his maybe not his efficiency, but it's going to up his point total, and that's what we were looking to see. They still have the veterans, too. You have Luol Deng, who plays a similar position, got the same kind of size as Brandon Ingram. You still got World Peace to help defensively, and they're winning players. He won a championship. Obviously, Luol Deng went to Eastern Conference Finals. Brook Lopez, he went to the playoffs before, and he has been an all-star. Larry Nance and Julius Randle, two power forwards that has they can switch it up, be versatile. You can play Larry at the 5 sometimes. Sometimes you can play him as a stretch 4. Sometimes you can play him at the 3. Julius Randle is a guy that play with a lot of heart and a lot of umph, and he can make a major impact on the team. But that's versatile to have 2 different type of power forwards that you can slide around and they can still make an impact regardless of who's on the court. And you have Zubac. I liked what he did last year, and they're not paying him that much. And he's a 20-year-old center. He got the length, he got the size, and he can learn how to post up because he plays with Brook Lopez, and he's going to be practicing a lot against him. So that can make him a better offensive player. Same with Randall and same with Nance, playing with an all-star player in Brook Lopez in practice and learning from him and learning from the coach. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a guy that he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get the money he wanted. He got a 1-year deal. He didn't get the long-term deal. He's a solid 3-point shooter, not a crazy 3-point shooter, but he's going to get a lot of easier opportunities playing with ball and playing in the pace and space offense that Luke Walton has. That should cause him to thrive and get a lot more easier shots, and maybe he can show a little bit more than what he can do on this roster, since he will be starting most likely. He can show a little bit more of his game, and maybe they want to give him to a cheap deal. Maybe they want to extend him, but right now you're just paying him $17 million that you wasn't going to spend anyway on a player that can be a star, a player that can be a 3-and-D player at worst, and you're only paying him $17 million for a year. So if he do work out, you can keep him and sign him to a 5-year deal. If he don't work out, you can just replace him with somebody else because free agency gonna start, and you can find somebody else probably cheaper or better that want to come to the Lakers. But he is a young prospect, and you might as well take a chance on him because you really have nothing else to do. At this point, they have Jordan Clarkson still. He's a guy that's still more of a scorer than a playmaker and a passer. But like I said, that's most of all the point guards now. But I like Jordan Clarkson. He has game. He's a big shot taker. He's a shot maker. He's a guy that brings a lot of energy off the bench, a lot of firepower off the bench. And that's one thing I got to say. They have a lot of different lineups that they could throw out there because they do have a 6'3" point guard in Ennis. They have a 6'5" point guard that can play the 1 or 2 in Jordan Clarkson. And then you can back up Caldwell with Clarkson. You still got Corey Brewer, who's 6'9". He can play the 2 or the 3 or a stretch 4 sometimes because he has the size at 6'9", and he's still athletic, and he still plays with a lot of energy and heart. Like, this team is underrated. They not going to win a lot of games because they're not used to winning. They might not win a lot of games because they might not know how to close out games, but they have a good balance of veterans. They have a good balance of young, and they have a good balance of players that have been in the league 3-4 years, which is the middle. So they right in the right area where you want to rebuild, but you still want to win, and you still want to try to contend for a playoff spot. And I think they can get there. Obviously, we don't know what to really expect because this team hasn't played together, and it's a lot of new pieces that could hurt them or that can help them. And then they got a player that they can throw the ball to in the 4th quarter, and Brook Lopez, who can post up, hook shots, jump shot, stretch the floor to the 3-point line, do pick and pop, pick and roll, dump off from Lonzo, dump off of Brandon Ingram, lobs. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching this Lakers team grow together. I don't know if Brook Lopez is part of their plans in the future, but I like to pick up to get rid of D'Angelo Russell for an all-star caliber player that can still score the basketball and still post up and still basically is a modern-day center. And you got him. Basically, you can offer him 5 years, another team can't. And that's, and you in LA, so you have a good pitching point to keep a player like Brook Lopez. And honestly, I'm a fan of Brook Lopez. Even though he's not the best defender, he's decent at it, and he's a solid rim protector, but his rebounding is terrible. But he mostly play on the perimeter, but he's never been a great rebounder in general, even in college. So let me know what you guys think about the Lakers. I had them winning about 31, 35 games, maybe not in the playoffs. Obviously, it depends on the start they get off. If they can get off to a hot start, maybe it can help them into the middle of the season, to the end of the season. But another thing is the West got better. There's a lot of players that went to the West. It's going to be a lot harder to, since they in the West, they got to play against the Western Conference teams. And it's going to be harder playing against them veterans and them stacked teams on a daily basis. And you still got to learn how to win, still got to learn how to play together, and still learn how to grow all during this season. And you're still trying to win. I think this team is 1 or 2 years away from being a lock at the playoff spot. I said that last year, and now it's coming true. Give them another year or next year, and they'll be a playoff lock damn near every year if they can keep this core together. And if that's just going based off potential, they may not reach that potential, but I got a high bar for this team and for Luke Walton because I'm a fan of him too. So let me know what you guys think about the Lakers. Is they a playoff team? Is they not? Can you see them making it? Can they be in that 6, 7, 8 spot, fighting with Dallas, Minnesota, Memphis, and Denver? And we'll see. Them spots gonna be up for grabs. One injury, one trade can change the whole thing in the West to open up those last 7, 8, and 6 seed. And maybe they make a trade some of their youth or trade some of their players, and they land another star. And they still, they're a guaranteed playoff spot this year. So let's see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Quinn Wade Basketball Nonsense signing out. Check out my website at nonsensplayground.com. The link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page at nonsensplayground.com. The link will be in the comment section in the description below. And all you have to do is click the link. It's sent to my Facebook page. All I'm asking you to do is like the Facebook page just to show support. Quinn Wade Basketball Nonsense signing out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Bye.